Somalia has been experiencing severe drought since late 2016. These conditions have contributed to the displacement of more than 500,000 people across Somalia. Demographic shifts have been intersecting with the impacts of climate change, conflict, and displacement for more than 20 years. In addition, this displacement is typically protracted, sometimes over decades, and characterized by few improvements in living circumstances and vulnerabilities.
Armed conflict, natural disasters, and longer-term climate change has led to massive levels of human mobility in Somalia, particularly displacement to urban centres, rural-urban migration, and the cities are growing rapidly. Internal displacement and rural-urban migration disrupts the social networks on which people depend to sustain a living. When they move to urban centres, it changes the demographic profile of those areas, and it also creates conflict potentially over scarce resources and infrastructure that's already there.
Somalia is a country that has been suffering for the last 20 plus years for civil war, drought, famine, and instability. Somali federal government, Somali federal member states are committed to supporting these people to make sure they stand with their feet. We have been working very closely with UN agencies such as UN Habitat, IOM, and other agencies including WFP, UNICEF, WFP, and FAO.
The need of a program with the aim to sustainably resolve the chronic crisis in the country has already brought the government of Somalia, United Nations, NGOs, and international partners to launch the Somalia Durable Solutions Initiative, providing a roadmap at policy, coordination, and implementation levels to provide comprehensive solutions.
UN Habitat is supporting the government of Southwest State and the federal government of Somalia in implementing the new urban agenda in the country. The strength of the partnership between IOM and UN Habitat lies in the complementarity of the mandates. IOM has a mandate and technical expertise on migration, whereas UN Habitat has a mandate and a technical expertise on human settlements and spatial urban development issues. Those two mandates combined are supporting Somalia to achieve peace building and human security.
In 2017, the establishment of a new central government and federal states, alongside tangible progress towards security and peace, finally demonstrates a favorable climate for the achievement of a transformation countrywide and the implementation of the new urban agenda.
The Midnimo Project, which means unity, was started to find long-term solutions to displacement, rural-urban migration, and respond to the needs of a growing urban centres in Somalia. So Midnimo Project, as a starting point, takes rebuilding social cohesion and the means to coexist peacefully as a foundation for longer-term recovery and development. And what's particular about Midnimo Project is that it's led by the government. Although it's supported by IOM, the UN Migration Agency, and UN Habitat, it's really for government to lead and be accountable and provide services to its constituents.
The case of Baidoa, a capital of the newly formed federal Southwest state, shows an attempt in that direction. This town is one of the main nodes in central Somalia, and at the center of what is, in normal seasons, the breadbasket of the country. As of today, it has the highest record of drought-related displacement. The cumulative urban population has more than doubled in the last year.
This project is very, very tangible project, which is really done a lot of activities in Baidoa, like the community consultations has come out, identification of the several projects in the Baidoa town, like a construction of the bridges, construction of the Maram routes, and the construction of the village offices. And it's also another consultation that was made in the 16th and 17th of November last year, that was intending to develop the land laws and the Baidoa urbanization plan and town plan. So this is really was very good initiative which was run by the UN Habitat and the IOM. And the community, Baidoa community, they are very delighted the project is how it is successful during a short period of time. It was very, very successful, and the community, they have very rejoiced at them how the project was running.
UN Habitat's intervention has three key focus areas. One is land tenure security, the second one is urban planning, and the third is legal frameworks that support both areas.
One more important programming principle in Midnimo is that it's really for the communities to drive their own recovery processes. So whereas a lot of the communities in which we're working have been supported through humanitarian assistance, addressing sort of time-critical humanitarian needs, the Midnimo Project turns this around and says, well, if there's going to be long-term recovery, then it's the communities who are going to drive that. And government may lead, but the communities will be the ones who do the public works, who rehabilitate infrastructure. And it's not just projects that have been predetermined, but it's the communities themselves that have defined those projects. It's not a blueprint program, it's more of a bottom-up approach. And for me, the process of identifying those projects together as a community, the process of engaging in those projects as a community together also rebuilds social cohesion. So Midnimo is not intended to do everything. It's not going to solve all the problems in those areas, but really it's a foundational program on which others longer term programs can build.